Welcome back to the channel. If you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, just remember that there'll be a link somewhere for Spotify for audio only for these interviews. It's over on the Cross Family Podcast Spotify channel. Head over there if you're driving, have a listen. I listen to all our podcasts on Spotify while I'm driving. It's really good. So this interview, I interviewed a bloke named Owen. He's got a lot of experience in the industry. He drives for Monaro fuel haulage based here in Brisbane. He's a Linehaul driver like myself. There's a big difference in this conversation and episode 1. Because of his experience, it was a very easy conversation to have. Minimal editing, like it only took me a couple of hours to edit this video and to get it uploaded and all that kind of stuff. Because it just went on and on. And we could have sat there for another day and a half bloody talking about all his stories and stuff like that. But I think we got quite a good conversation out of the time that we spent chatting. He has a lot of respect for his company and like he talks about like training people and the time that he spent training people back home, and you can tell that he's a really passionate guy when it comes to trucks and things like that. Anyway, I'm just blabbing on. The vlogs will coming back. They'll be looking a bit different, but you guys will see when you see it. Yeah, and if you want to do an interview, just hit me up. Hit me in the emails, crossfamilycontent@gmail.com, or you can message me on Facebook, but don't try and get an interview with me in the comments, because I hardly read comments these days. I prefer that if you want to do an interview, be based in Brisbane, but I've got heaps of interest down in Sydney, Newcastle, Tamworth area too. But if I get a few more people down there, I'll take the time to come down there and zip around, get them done. Anyway, enjoy this one. Thanks for following. Talk to you guys soon. Welcome back to the channel. This is episode 2 of Cross Family Trucking Interviews, where I'm just interviewing truck drivers here in Australia, in and around the industry. We're sitting here in a 610 Kenworth. It's probably the prettiest truck I've ever sat in. But next to me, I've got Owen Turei. He's born and raised in Auckland. He's been over here for the last 6 years. Back home, he towed around fuel tankers, fridge vans, general freight for 15 years, roughly, eh?
Yeah. Over home.
Yeah, he currently works for Monaro fuel haulage based out of Brisbane. Yeah. Goes up to Rocky. And then down to Sydney, and then eventually back home to Brisbane, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But he'll go anywhere if the company asks him. He's going to share his years of experience with me today and share a couple of stories about his career in the industry, and which I'm actually excited about, because any chance I get, especially with my job, because there is quite a few blokes who have been in there for decades, I sit down with them and talk to them, and soak in their years of experience. But welcome to the channel, brother.
Thank you, Wombrick.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
So how was your week, all right?
Just same old week for me, man. It's pretty cruisy. I don't tell many people that it's cruisy. It's a stressful job, because it's pretty cruisy, man.
Yep.
It is what you make it out to be.
That's right.
You know, any job can be hard as long as it depends how you make the job, really.
That's right. Yeah.
So No, it's been a good week, man. Been a good week.
Yeah. And what did you do? Just up to Rocky?
Up to Rockhampton.
Yep.
And then we'll normally do a fuel run up to Rockhampton, and come back down and do an oil run down to Sydney.
Yep.
And then we oil run back to Brisbane, and that's pretty much the week done.
Yeah, okay, nice.
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing the interstate for, this mob for?
Probably about 2.5 years.
And before that you were doing local for it?
Doing local around Brisbane.
Yep.
Prefer the interstate by far.
Yep.
Geez. Kiwis can't get used to this heat.
Yeah,
the old heat over here, and doing about 3 metro deliveries around here in Brisbane. Oh yeah, it takes a toll.
It means you have to get out of the aircon.
So in the old interstate, pretty much in the truck most of the bloody day. So it's all good.
And when the truck stopped, the ice pack's running out.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
We're actually parked under the shade here at the Hammond BP. Because it's quiet here today, so we're not going to bother anybody, and we've got the ice pack running. So where did you start your career, brother?
Auckland. I started with a powder coating company, little 4-wheeler Hino, the old Hino.
Yeah. Do you remember what year that was?
Oh, geez.
Everyone says that when I ask that question.
Oh man, that's probably going back. I would say 1999, 8, something like that.
Oh, I was 2 years old back then.
Would have been 98, something like that. Yeah, and I was just carting, picking up and delivering furniture.
Yep.
steel furniture, taking it back to the powder coater company, and then they'll spray it up and paint it up, and then I'll deliver it back to the customer.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, right.
So I started doing that, then ended up with going into refrigeration.
Yep.
That was good. That was good to get the experience. Started with a little rigid, as always, and worked my way up as we went through the years, pretty much. And
the licenses back home are different. What is a rigid classed as?
Well, geez, well, see, back then you just got a truck license and then a trailer license. So
okay.
A rigid was classed as a truck license, and then you get your trailer license, and then you get car to trailer. You know? Pretty much that's how it was. But now they've got different classes over there: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 being an MC over here. So,
truck and trailer back home, eh?
Yeah, just a truck and trailer back home, or whatever it is, you know, semis and different terminologies can be the here, right?
Yeah, that's right,
B doubles is B trains back home, and you know, A doubles are A trains back home, and there's all different terminologies that you had to sort of try and get used to over here.
Well, see, I didn't have that frame of reference from back home, because I come over here as a teenager. And I started driving trucks here only a couple of years ago. And so you went, what, rigids, once you got to fridge vans, trailers after that?
Fridge trans, and then, got my trailer license through driving through fridge trans, fridge vans, and then...
what was the name of that company?
Translink Refrigerated.
Translink, are they still going today?
No. They were part of the rail back in New Zealand. But now it's, I think Tolls are taking over that. Don't quote me on that. I'm not too sure if that was true, but I think Tolls is pretty much a big player going into that sort of company and stuff. But
So you remember how old you were?
Jeez.
In that?
I would have been in my early 20s, man. Roughly around there. Learning how to do all that sort of stuff back in the early 2000s. I know I was definitely doing it around 2000.
So where'd you go from there?
Same thing again. We were just doing metro around Auckland. And then slowly started extending down to the Waikato, down in Hamilton and places like that. Not too far. It wasn't until I actually left Translink then we got into the general freight of Peter Baker's.
Peter Baker's.
Yes, Peter Baker's back home, and started doing
big mob, big company.
They were, and I think they maybe, I'm not too sure how that organisation is going. They were back then. And we were just basically going from Auckland down to Wellington and back, and that was my first stint of Linehaul.
Well, would you do that in a day, or go down, sleep in Wellington? Or
down to Wellington, sleep in Wellington, and then come back up. I was actually diverting into Tauranga on the way back, so so down to Wellington, sleep over, come back through Tauranga, and then back.
So that's kind of leave one day, get back the next night, kind of.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
All right.
And then after that, we went to what did we go to there? I think after that we ended up going to another mob. Salon Road. Did a little bit of a stint there. And then after that went to Kim Courier's.
Are they in New Zealand as well?
Yeah. So Kim Courier's, Main Freight. Owens, and the only ones I see you don't have here is Daily Freight.
I know that's a big company.
Daily Freight, so that's a circle of Main Freight anyway, basically back home. But there's no Daily Freight here, so
so you've been doing DG for a while then, eh?
I've done a lot of DGs.
Is it classed as DG back home?
Which
is an additive to your license, kind of thing?
And touching on that, I reckon it's far more simpler and easier to go through the process of getting the DG over there compared to here. They hold it longer over there, 5 years over there compared to the 3 years here.
And then you have to renew it here, right?
The renewal here is the one that bites everyone in the arse, and that's like a 2-day course, which is the same as actually applying and getting your DG. Whereas back home a refresher only takes half a day, or possibly depending who you're doing it with.
So you can come off the road and go straight back to work the day after, kind of thing.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Even the process of going through putting it on your license here, you have to do a medical, then a criminal record. all that stuff. Whereas back home, you just go into the LTSA, which is like a main road. And just, where you go. Put on your license and away you go.
So after general, did you go into fuel? And how long were you doing that for back home?
Yeah, so after general, I
and now we're getting into the 2000s.
Yeah. So in the general, it was, for me, it was about trying to drive the big trucks.
Oh yeah.
You know, the big. Back then it was like, because I came from a background with my old man driving petrol tankers all his life, pretty much, most of it. So all I wanted to be was a petrol tanker driver. But then I saw the freight side of it and the trucks they were driving, and it was like, fuck, I wouldn't mind driving one of those. You know? So it was about the trucks for me then. The money side wasn't even a factor. Well, I was at home still anyway. But once we had our little family and stuff like that, then we had to sort of look at the money side of it. And here's the reason why we ended up going. Into fuel.
Yeah. So was it a big difference in the income in the old pocket?
Oh, it was. Yeah. Absolutely, it was. And not only that, it was the finding out what type of, how good of a driver you were. And it really showed you what bad habits you had, how to adjust your bad habits, because you were going into an industry which my mentality of it and seeing from the outside of it was, these guys are right up there. They're pretty much in the #1 league of have to be professional drivers because of what they cart, what they carry.
Yeah, that's right.
But, it is in a way, and it is, and it's not in another way.
So it was a big shock to the system.
It was a big shock to the system, but a lot of learnings in it. A lot of learnings. And
I've never carted any kind of liquids. I've only ever done fridge vans. So what's it? Compared to, you've done both. Compared to fridge vans, can you feel like the fuel moving around, things like that?
A lot more here. A lot more here in Australia. Like, majority of the tankers back home, they have baffles inside the tankers, so that stops a lot of the surging from the fuel. Whereas here, they don't seem to be having. They just have bulkheads rather than baffles, and so the bulkheads are the ones that are actually dividing the compartments. So you can. It allows you to cart different products in each compartment. Whereas, and then you have your.
Baffles. And then in the different compartments, there's no baffles because it's all compartmentalised.
So you feel the surging a lot more. What you're doing. So that is a difference in carting, the different similarities of different tankers back home to here. Other than that, it's a few minor twitches and tweaks of processes and equipment that the way they have the equipment here compared to what they do back home. Relatively the same, but just they do it slightly different in some ways.
Or as you would anyway,
It's a little bit more old school here in some ways compared to home. Home they're pretty much, everything's pretty much driver friendly back there. Work easy, work friendly. And they stick like tankers over there. Normally, majority of them stick to the one product, like it's a petrol tanker or an oil tanker or acid tanker, stuff like that. So it's relatively simple, whereas probably because of the bigger country over here, the more different customers and competitors, that are coming into the game of the fuel industry. You really need to step up your game and do whatever it takes to hold on to your customers. So you have to have that flexibility to do what you
I get what you're saying. I get exactly what you're saying. Well, you started fuel tankers, you done that for 10 years?
Done it for 11 years back home in NZ. 7 of it was driving. And then they gave me an opportunity to step up and be an operations coordinator back home. So I did. Oh man,
how'd you find it? All right?
Very intimidating. I'll tell you that much. Like young Maori boy, still talking like pretty much a hoary boy, and
I get you.
Have to sort of start talking a little bit more diplomatic and professional.
Start wearing button up shirt to work and all that.
That was pretty up there. I'll tell you that much.
So
Well, here's one story of it. The first week I got I got asked to do the position, have this operations role, and a week later we're flying into Melbourne going in to do the Kenworth tour. That was one good thing about that company, is they used to take not only us, it was also the drivers, the operators. They used to take them over to Melbourne and give them a look in the Kenworth factory, and three day stint there, and it was cool. It was really cool. And I went over with a bunch of corporates, the owner of the company plus sales rep for Gull was the service station that they were operating for back there, subcontracted.
Mobile here, isn't it?
No. That was Gull is pretty much there from Western Australia. They're from there. They sold up out of there and sort of revived it back in New Zealand.
Oh, okay. I do remember those service centres back home.
Yeah. No, they have their own fuel. They're independent fuel.
Yeah.
Not too, once again, it's been a while, so it's probably changed a bit, but they were an independent fuel spirit back then. We got an opportunity to jump in there and learn a lot of IT stuff, and mainly to deal with other operators and different personalities, because part of it was training them. Even like newcomers coming into the game. Never driven Road Ranger before, so from teaching people, just to teach them how to do fuel, load, unload fuel, and that, we had to step up the game, because there's not many people that can drive these anymore these days, and we had a lot of the younger generation coming in. So, and not many of them really knew too much about the Road Ranger. So we had to step up the game and show them how to drive Road Ranger also, and even stepped up to doing fuel efficient driving courses and stuff like that, which I was a big part of back there. All that was learning, and
it's a whole different role within the industry, eh?
It was a different role, you had to get for me the challenge was to be able to work out the personality of the individual, knowingly that some of these individuals have got many years of experience, and you're sitting there trying to figure out, like I've only driven half the years of you, and I'm sitting here trying to figure out what to teach you.
I get you.
So it was that, and it was also getting the respect. That was the biggest thing, was getting the respect. And I felt I managed to achieve that once I finished that role.
How long were you in that role for?
About just over 3 years, something like that.
And was that kind of your last stop before you moved over here? Or
It was. Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me in that role too was looking at the ones that came in that weren't really, they weren't really confident in driving and whatever they were doing, but actually seeing them excel. And that was the biggest thing to me. A lot of them knew that too, because they would go out. I'd still drive now and then, and I'll go out with them. And I'll follow them, and they're always on point. They're always looking at me going, hey, did you see I stayed in my lane going to the roundabout? Or did you see I didn't touch my brakes? And so that type of stuff there meant a lot to me, because they were taking it in and they were trying to use it to get to better themselves, to improve themselves in their driving.
No, I get you.
So it was a good role to be in there, because just seeing them happy. And where they are today from where they were back then when they first stepped into the company. That was my biggest thing I liked about it.
Okay, good. So why the move? So the move over here to Australia, what was that based on? The money, or was it?
I had no intentions coming here.
Oh, really?
No intentions whatsoever.
Come over for a holiday and stay here, or one of those stories, or what?
Well, to be honest, it was from a bad relationship. But,
okay.
But no, that's all good. That's all good. I'm open with everything.
Okay.
So that ended up there. That sparked the move over. Get a bit of fresh air, a bit of a change. Came over here, like I said, no intentions. Stayed here for 2 weeks with my brother, who was already here.
In Brisbane?
In Brisbane.
Yep.
And they just said, oh, how about we go get your licence changed and whatever, you know.
Yep. Is he truckie as well?
Oh, he was then, but not now.
Yep.
Not into the big trucks, but he was, you know, and they knew that I love trucks and love driving trucks. And anyway, I thought, you know, actually before we go into that, he took me for a drive around here.
Yeah.
Fuck, I didn't know where the hell I was, but he took me for a ride here. Took me to the Lytton fuel terminal just down the road here.
Yeah.
And one of Emerald Carring's 409s came out with the big Aerodyne sleeper on it, and I'm sitting there looking at this thing going, fuck. Fuck, that's a bit of gear.
Yeah.
Fuck, there is no one. I was only single that day, so that's what even really sparked me was, fuck, it's only a single. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, fuck, now that is a bit of gear. Fuck. Oh, you'll never see me in that truck.
Yep.
Like, and then about a month later, I was in that same truck.
Were you really?
Doing my first driving assessment for this company.
Really? Went straight into that same truck?
Yeah, in that same truck, and I was just fucking laughing, and I was going. But I was laughing afterwards because I didn't really know the companies back here, so I saw the trucks, didn't realise it was Emerald Carring. Yeah. Then I came here. Started with them, did all my stuff, and then I had that video on my phone that because I videoed it coming out of the gym. And it wasn't until I looked at the video and I went, oh fuck, that's it.
So you started with Emerald, with that 409 that we were talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that, how long did you do your
that was because they were just going through, I think they were just going through truck changing around and stuff like that.
Did you come in like right, because correct me if I'm wrong, did Emerald buy Monaro or something like that, or were they always the same company?
They had it before I came here. There is a story to that, but I won't share that story because I'm not too sure how it goes. I have been told it, but I don't want to tell the wrong story.
Yeah, that's right. No, I know exactly what you mean.
But there is a story behind that. But so I came into it and I was on the Brown and the Emerald carrying trucks. I was driving a Western Star for however long that was, probably a year or something. And then we got a 409 after that. And then after that we got a brand new 610 which was named the Outlaw. That one there. We had that until we ended up doing interstate. Drove a variety of trucks before we got this one here, brand new, and then away we went.
So you've had this truck for a couple of years now?
Just over 2.5 years it would be.
Are you the only one that's ever sat in that seat? Or?
See, 98% of the time when I go on holiday, it's still got to go and make some money.
They still have to make money, eh?
So
I'm pretty
not
sure.
that I like it, but
I know exactly what you mean. I'm pretty sure mine's running around doing local at the moment. You just fucking.
That's the only time people will drive. Or otherwise, if the truck needs to be loaded at a specific fuel terminal that I'm not inducted to, then someone else will drive it again and load it and then bring it back. Other than that, majority of the time it's me.
How are they to work for? They're all right?
Look, I've been looked after.
I've heard that before too.
I've been looked after, mate. Everybody will have their own different opinions about it all,
as people do.
For myself, I've been looked after. I'm pretty grateful for what they've given to me. This truck here is a big thing, a big part of the respect I have from them, which I really appreciate much, and I take in very humbly, with what they've done. They've, whatever I've basically asked and needed, and doesn't matter whether it's to do with the job or whether it's to do with family, they've always met the requirements and always, come and helped them with it. It's a family-based company, so. They still have those family values behind it.
It's exactly the same with the mob that I work for, man. Big company, but they still have that family core inside of it. So when you walk into the office and you're talking to, it's like you're talking to people who are a part of that family core. It's good. But I've actually heard, because I done. At one point last year, my channel don't know this, but I went and started doing my DG course. And two blokes that I was doing it with who are renewing their licences, one of them's, I don't know if he still works here, and then one of them was an ex-worker. They both said the same thing.
Yeah.
That they were looked after.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're right, is in that fact that every company, you have people that love them, and then you have people that don't.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that everyone will always have their opinions, but
Yep.
everything I've heard about this one is good though.
Yeah, absolutely. No, they got good gear.
Yeah. Well,
Awesome
that's pretty
gear.
well known fact.
Yeah.
I find myself going the other way, going, oh, that's shiny.
Yeah, they got good gear. They've got all the facilities for you. You know, majority of the depots that they have. You got all your washing facilities, even polishing. You know, all your cleaning gear that you need, man. You know, their own workshops, everything. You know, everything's supplied for you. There really isn't no reason why your truck shouldn't be, you know, clean and looked after. Really,
that's right. Yeah.
And end of the day, you still got to take your ownership to look after it. You know, you still got to have that passion behind you to always get back at the end of the week and clean it up and do what you got to do. You know, and that's a big thing to me is your passion behind what you do. And the pride you take in the gear that you drive. You know, it's a big thing to me.
Yeah, I get you.
Being here in Australia, though, I will touch on that. I ain't gonna lie, it has been challenging. You know, challenging with a lot of things. But as you can see on the back here, the native mafia truckers. It's,
I was going to touch on that.
Yeah, it is predominantly a Kiwi trucking group, trucking family.
Is that something that you started, or?
There's three of us started. Three of us that started it. Mainly a guy, DJ Imapo, and Tommy Morgan. We all got together and kicked it off, and it's grown from there a lot. You know, it's brought a lot of unity with a lot of drivers from back home over here, and also back in New Zealand, Aotearoa. Which was pretty cool to see.
Well, I think I've seen a photo recently on Facebook of you guys. Did you guys have a get together or something?
We've had heaps of get-togethers. You know, a lot of it was based around the truck meets. I hear there's one tonight actually, but truck meets, and even going to convoys and stuff like that, and just bringing us all together for the day is a big thing to us. You know.
So you guys get together, just talk, chill out.
Chill out, you know, talk about home, talk about, and it's still got to do with a lot of the younger generation coming up in the game, you know, us the older generation sharing our skills to them so they can improve and get better as they're going through their careers, you know. A lot of it has to do with that, really, and unity with the drivers from back home and here in Australia. It's not all about New Zealand, it's you know, it welcomes everybody, really, anybody, Australians, whatever, you know.
It's a communal thing.
It is a communal thing.
Naturally, people, we are communal, like humans. I find that we are social, like communal people. But we just have to find our communities to attach ourselves to.
Exactly.
And that's what I feel like you guys might be.
Yeah, well, you know, it has its benefits, you know, even to do with the mental side of things, you know, that's a big thing these days with a lot of truckies, is going through the mental stages of what they do. You know, it is a place where a lot of people can share what's going on through their time and their life as a truckie. And there's a lot of people that on there that will support you and do whatever it takes to make sure they put them on their right tracks and stuff. So
that's awesome too, because I find I have run into this before with blokes around my age, right? Is they have problems at home with the missus and things like that. And then there was literally one time I walked into, I won't say where I walked into, and this bloke was crying, and you know, and I realised that his life is at home and on the road, but at home he's having problems, so who is he going to talk to about his problems, eh?
Absolutely. And that's what it's like. It's a place that they can you know, take it away from home. They're able to trust people that they trust, and share whatever's going on through their time at that time.
That's amazing, man.
So no, it is become a big thing.
So how many are you guys on Facebook and all that?
Yeah, there is a Facebook page.
Native Mafia
Truckers.
How many people are on there?
It's up to about 1.2k at the moment. It's only been going for probably a couple of years, maybe 2 years, or a year and a half. But we're not into you know, trying to get as many likes or whatever. It's just basically where people are comfortable to come on and share whatever their pride and passion. You know, that's what it's all about. That's pretty much the core values of the page is pride, passion, and humility.
Helping each other. Humility. Okay.
So no, that's been a big part of my life here in Australia. It's helped me feel a little bit more comfortable here. Going through the transition from home to here, you know.
That's a good point you're touching on.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us, we all move over here for our own reasons. Most of us, I think, is for money. Because there's higher income jobs here. But what nobody tells you before you get on the plane back home is that it's a shit show for the first 5 years or something that you're here. Like when me and my old lady come over. We basically went homeless twice, struggling for the first however many years until we finally got some money underneath us. You know what I mean? But no one tells you that. And again, I think it's cool that you guys are helping each other with that. Well,
we pretty much started it. We didn't know where it was going to lead to. But
it ended up as this thing.
It ended up as a fairly large group at the end of it, a fairly large family, you know, at the end of it, which has brought a lot of people close together. You know, I didn't know really stuff all people here, but now I know quite a few people up and down the East Coast, over in WA, and maybe even a lot more back home in New Zealand now than I did before I left home, you know. So it's created a bit of a network base with all of us in a way to know each other, to get to know each other and bring us closer in the trucking community.
And you know that everyone in your community is there to be a part of your community.
Exactly.
There's people aren't just there to, well, like, you know, our Facebook can be.
Absolutely.
People aren't just there to, you know, cause trouble in comments and stuff like that. No, that's awesome, man.
So no, that's been a big part of my life and stuff. Receiving this truck is like, if we're going, you know, this truck here being named what it is, I know I've had my challenges with it.
Really?
Yeah, I've had my challenges with it.
People not liking the name
Not liking the name at all.
Really?
So it was an honour for the owner of this company, for Emerald Carrying. Greg, he actually was the one that named it. He always asks me whenever we get a new truck, what is the name that you want to name your truck? I've always had a chrome stallion on the front of my truck.
Really?
So
well, that's why I was looking at it from where I'm sitting. It looks like the back and the neck of like a tuatara. That's why I asked you what
it does a little bit. Until you get into the front of it, you'll see a stallion. But like the last truck I had before this, I named that the Outlaw because of the stallion that I've had. But this one here, he asked me, he says, what do you want to name your truck? And I says, oh look, just call it the Lone Stallion, because like I mentioned at the time, I wasn't getting on with operations here in Emerald, but now it's a lot better now. And he asked me to try Linehaul, and I mean Interstate, and if I liked it, he'll get me a truck. So he got me this new 610.
Beautiful.
And then when he asked me about the name, and I told him that, he said he didn't like the name. And I said, what's wrong with that name? It's all right. Nobody likes me in your company, so just call it the Lone Stallion. Then all good. And he goes, no, how about the Mary Stallion? And the old eyebrow raised up in the air, and I went, are you sure? He goes, well, I'm going to name my truck whatever I like. And I went,
so have people had a problem with the mouldy part of it? Is that right? Okay.
And you know, look, everybody has their opinion. And it's not, for me, and I know many others, it's not about having our culture on a truck here and trying to take over the land and the people here. Definitely not. We know
not why we're here.
We know we're visitors.
We know where we're from.
Where we're from. We know we're visitors here in Australia. Having that name on this truck is more of a pride thing to us, to me. I know many people back home in New Zealand and many others from here in Australia that are from home. You know, it's a big thing for us to actually have our culture on the truck here in Australia. And we really take it with pride.
Awesome.
You know, a lot of us, I know a lot of people down there see it going up and down the East Coast there, and they really admire it for me, that's another reason why the truck is looking the way it is, because I feel that I'm representing home, back home.
Oh, awesome.
You know, having that name on there.
Awesome.
So if I was to go around with this truck looking like shit,
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
It doesn't do a real good, thing. It doesn't promote New Zealand really well, and that's what I feel I'm doing, is promoting back home.
Awesome, man.
So I try and keep this truck as immaculate as I can.
And the first thing I said to Owen when I opened the passenger side door was, I thought my truck was clean on the inside. But you can eat off the floors in here. I'm not even kidding. I even started asking, what do you clean your gauges and dash with? And even the outside. The outside's immaculate. Awesome, man. It's good to see.
So that was some of the challenges that I had with the name, which is
But you know that you've got the you've got the backing of the bloke who owns the truck.
Exactly. Like
I can tell by talking to you that you have a lot of respect in the company, and you have a lot of respect for the company.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a really cool thing to see, man.
And it's something to be really proud of, driving something like this down. There's no way in hell I would have ever thought I'd be driving something like this. I had no sort of achievement to go down this road that would drive something this big. Never. I thought I'd be at home in New Zealand driving daycabs for the rest of my life. Pretty much. But here we are today, and it was all unplanned. But pretty happy, and really appreciate what's come around my way.
Awesome,
in my career, bro.
So off the top of your head, have you got any stories? What's the first story when you were sitting in a smoko hut or smoko room somewhere? What's the first one that you add to the conversation? Because you know what I'm talking about too. Because we all get together in the smoko hut and bloody start yarning. What's the first one that comes to your head?
Oh, well, now, especially the Brisbane depot, it's become, there's quite a few of us Kiwis down there. And we had a Christmas gathering.
You're not about to get everyone in trouble, eh?
We had a Christmas gathering last year, which was pretty cool, and it's not a bad thing, but it was actually nice to be in the room. And don't get me wrong, I've got plenty of awesome Australian mates. I've got plenty of awesome Australian mates. There's heaps of them, man. And I really admire everybody who comes across my life. And then if they give me the same respect back, they'll have, exactly the same respect to them. But it was, we were in there, and geez, I don't know how it happened, but there was a whole lot of Kiwis in this one room. And by golly, did we come across a lot of remembrance of how it was back home and what we were doing, and then that was it felt like family. I'm pretty much like that, man. I love sitting around talking about old days and whoever it may be, but there was a lot to do with home. We all connected from home, and it was just awesome to be in there and talk as a family. But like I say, anyone that has stories to share about the old days, especially with trucking. Oh, bro, I'm up for that. I had one the other day. We were coming back, just cruising back together the other day. The fella's been driving road trains for years, and doing all that sort of stuff. What they did back in the day, their old school driving. Man, what some stories told back then, man. What they did back then, it was unreal. So I enjoy that. I enjoy those old stories.
I get what you're saying. So your story is that there's heaps of old stories.
There's heaps of old stories, and you can learn. You can learn a lot from those stories. It may not be what's happening with the newer technology coming into the day of trucking now, but just what they used to do back in those days, man, it was like
insane, right?
Insane.
Like I was telling you before, there's a bloke that I always talk to when I get a chance to. Man, he just you just go, well, especially me. I've only been doing it the last 2.5 years. I'll just sit there and go, sorry, what?
Hopefully everyone sees this one, because so
you got 9 minutes.
Well, I'll keep this. I'll keep this fast, bro. So the hills out of Sydney, Olympia, down on the Mooney Bridge, all those hills. There's always this Monaro tanker going very slow down there. There's a particular reason for it. it's something I've always learned back home, and back home I've always learned to use my engine brake. But I always get the call up, crappie in the Monaro? Yeah, mate. You alright? Yeah, I'm all good. So if you ever see a Monaro tanker going down the Rimba Hill and meaning with the hazard lights on, it's me.
Oh, really? Yeah, okay.
You know, all I'm doing is just using my engine brake because I can't change my ways and style of driving.
It's
pretty much the way I've been taught and I've stuck to, and I'll probably continue to stick to it because...
So if you're watching or listening to this, Owen's the bloke that goes...
I'm the bloke that's a pain in the ass down the hill. So.
I've been past you before too. How funny.
So if you guys are watching and you see the old Monaro tanker going down there with the hazard lights on, yes, it's me. But that's the reason why. I did have one bloke go, he actually caught up with me down in Wyong and he says, mate, what's wrong with your truck? And I said, nothing. He goes, oh, what's wrong with the big girl? It was going slow. And I went, well, first of all, it's not a girl, it's a boy. And then first of all, hey, look, this is the way I've driven all my life, so I won't change, you know. And I don't think he got the idea. He goes, is it the brakes? And I says, yeah, it is the brakes. I don't like using my brakes, man. I like to keep them cool all the time, and when I need them, they're there to use, you know. And he goes, oh, fuck, don't worry about it, man. The company will buy you some more. Well, you carry on doing what you're doing.
Well, you know what's funny is one of the boys that I work with, that I'm mates with, he's from back home.
Yeah.
And he said the exact same thing. He goes, I can't understand why anybody uses their brakes here.
He
goes, back home it's just engine brakes, and he still drives the same. He said everyone's on their brakes going downhill here, and I was like, bro, that's just... You know.
Admittedly, you know, the hills are a lot steeper and a lot windier back home.
So there's proper ranges
really,
back home.
You really need to apply that to your driving skills.
The only real ranges we have here, like there's sets of hills and all that, but the only real one is that you can compare to back home is the Toowoomba range or the
Mount Ousley.
Mount Ousley too. I've only been up that one.
That is a good hill, that one.
But I know what you're saying, because back home you have to use your engine brakes.
And I believe the one down in Adelaide, I haven't been down to that one, but I hear that's quite...
It's just long, bro.
Long.
It's not the steepest hill, it's
just long hill to go down.
It takes bloody... they'll shoot me in the comments for getting this wrong, but from what I can remember, it takes like 20 minutes to get down it. From when you start seeing the signs, no trucks on the brakes kind of but then you get to the bottom of that and you go straight into Resi.
So imagine letting that go down the bottom.
Well, that's why you see all these truck bloody crashes on the news and stuff there. Well, brother, I think that was a good interview, eh?
Yep, you happy with it?
Yeah, bro, as long as you're happy with it.
No, I'm all good with it.
I think everybody that I interview too, I'd love to catch up, you know.
Yep.
And next year, whenever. And even like maybe at one of your guys' meets or something, if you want to do that.
Sounds like
I don't know. Because I actually that's something that I full on, because I've seen you guys on social media. But I've never really looked into it. I didn't know that it was like a community of, not just a brotherhood within the...
It's a brotherhood. Definitely a brotherhood.
That's something that I 100% can get behind, you know what I'm saying? Thanks for coming on, brother.
All good, bro. Thanks for the interview.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me into the big boy, not the big girl.
Not the big girl.
This truck, I'm not even just saying this for the camera because Owen's sitting here, but this truck is immaculate. And full on, he's got the big bunk back here. I've never actually been in a bonneted truck with a big bunk for this, do you?
Oh,
so
okay.
It's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, they have all their different types, studio. This is studio, obviously, or some guys put the bunk right to the back of the...
do the 610s come with the big bunks if you want it?
They do.
Yeah, okay.
The cupboards are at the top and stuff like that.
And you got a TV, bloody microwave.
Got everything you need for the interstate, which is awesome, you know. I know there's not many people that's lucky to have those, you know, facilities in the truck, and but actually having it, it is something that you appreciate, definitely.
How much power has this one got?
Oh, this one's only got, I think it's rated at 600 horsepower at 1850, so... it does the job well. It does the job well.
Yeah, I don't think ours do the job, and I don't think we've got that much power.
Oh, okay. I thought they would have been up there.
Oh, I don't know. I won't say any specific numbers because I'm probably wrong.
No, that's all good. No, it does the job well, holds its own. I haven't had stuff or problems with it, really.
Amazing, bro.
Yeah.
You're $500,000 on the clock, you reckon,
close to $500,000 now.
And it's the Māori stallion written on the side of it?
On the bonnet. Just on the side of the bonnet there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's got it on there.
Yeah. So, while his curtains are shut, if you see him out in public, stay away from the truck, but, you know, if you want to say hello, this is Owen. He drives the Māori stallion for Monaro Fuel Haulage.
To you, Farley.
Thanks, brother.
To you, my bro.